Mike Rose back here with another episode of Inside High School Sports, joined today by the Alexander Pembroke Byron-Bergen HFL girls wrestling team. It's a mouthful there. We'll go with Alexander girls wrestling the rest of the way here. And Coach Scott Wessel, we'll start with you. First season of this sport being, officially being played here in Section 5. Just talk to me about what it was like here. Nobody's done it before. What it was like navigating this first season here this year.
So it was definitely interesting. What I'll say is we've had the advantage of having 2 seasons under our belt in the non-sanctioned era, where a lot of teams didn't. So we were one of the first. These girls, specifically these two, were some of the pioneers where we came right out of the gate and got ready to roll. So this season was just like the last two, just being fully sanctioned with a sectional tournament. Definitely changed the goals and the outlook. Our goal all season from the beginning was to bring a sectional block home. That was the first, and we really wanted to do that as a team. And we knew we were competing against large schools like Fairport, Brockport, those kind of big schools, and to bring it home to little old Alexander. We had a couple of teams with us with Bergen and Pembroke and an HFL girl, but we started out with that core group of 9-10 Alexander girls, and we kind of just added a couple pieces to the puzzle. But it was definitely a process. It's been a process. Our administration has been great to us. They supported us from the beginning. We were able to get a sanctioned team. We were able to actually have a standalone coach this year, which was me. I was able to pass the boys over to Mr. Egling, so that was nice as well. So it was definitely a process, but it was also a smooth transition because I have some great core. I have some great leaders on the team, and I'd be remiss not to mention our captain leadership and our OGs, as we like to call them, which are original girls on the team. So appreciate them.
Elevate your game. Specialties, custom apparel, and promotional products take the time to get to know you. They'll listen and guide you based upon your needs, budgets, due dates, and more. Their team of designers will create custom artwork just for you or your business for any occasion. See something that you like online or in catalog? Just show them and they'll bring your creation to life. In-house screen printing, embroidery, and they are a local business in Geneseo, New York that's been providing quality custom apparel and promotional products since 1990. Give Specialties a call or visit them online for all your promotional needs.
And Anabelle, turn to you next. Obviously, got mentioning unsanctioned the last couple of years. How much fun was it to kind of officially be sanctioned, have the sport, and know you were going to be competing, for a sectional championship at the end of the season?
It was really nice to know we had the same opportunity as all the guys have had for years, and that we were fully sanctioned and had our own team, really.
And Emma, obviously, Coach mentioned the goal was to win a sectional championship, bring it back to Alexander. You were able to do that. Talk to me about how cool that was. First ever sectional championships. This team will be remembered as that in the history books. Till the end of time in Section 5. Now, how cool was that to be the first?
It was it felt crazy. How we had our full parade in our town, how everyone was clapping and stuff. It felt really good.
And Scott, I know you mentioned that was the goal coming into the season, but when you are able to get it done and you are the first sectional champions, and you mentioned some of the bigger schools you're competing against, and it was tight there at that sectional meet that you were able to get the victory. And when you finally do win it, how good of a feeling is that to be like, we at Little Alexander, we got this done?
That's huge. The feeling of doing that, the accomplishment of the girls. They put in so much blood, sweat, and tears. I don't think anybody understands the sacrifice that, everybody thinks about what the boys do. The girls put in that same sacrifice. There was definitely blood. There was sweat. There was kids fighting through being sick. A bunch of girls had the flu going into sectionals, and we were worried, but they competed. They fought. None of them were probably 100%. None of them were happy with they would never not been happy to lose. They went through and fought to the bitter end, gave everything they had, left everything on the mat. I mean, to see them be able to hoist the trophy at the end and see them do that as a team. Wrestling's an individual sport in the end, but the team atmosphere really means a lot. And to see them be able to accomplish that together as a goal and then get their patches and their medals and be part of that was something special. And the community came together. They had a parade with the fire trucks, as Emma said, and they got to come back into town. They actually set that up later on because our sectional didn't finish till almost midnight. So by the time we got home, it was 1 a.m. But the girls didn't care. They were loud. They were proud. They were happy. But we got to extend that out a little longer. That was awesome.
I'm sure the celebration was still lively even at 1 a.m. when you got things done there, right?
Yeah.
Anabelle, we'll turn back to you here. Coach mentioned all the work that you girls put in to kind of get to that point at the end of the year. Just kind of take me inside a little bit and kind of give people an idea of what the process was this season for you girls to get to the point where you were ultimately the sectional champions.
It was just, there was a lot of practicing, conditioning, and work that you don't really want to do, but you fight through it because it's worth it in the end.
And obviously, Emma, still a lot of time in early stages of this sports development here, but as you look ahead to how this thing's grown and, you have the season this year, just from your perspective, as you look forward, what are you hoping can continue to grow with this sport, and how are you hoping this win can maybe continue to grow the sport, locally for this program?
Oh gosh, I think we've grown so much since the first year when we had our small states, to now where we have our own section champions, and now all the little kids are coming up and they're growing as a school, and it's really great to have younger kids come up with us.
And Scott, obviously, winning always kind of gets people gravitating towards your sport. So, and what does it do for this program at Alexander to have that first sectional championship and kind of use that as something that can potentially grow the sport of girls wrestling here locally?
Oh, it absolutely will help grow it. I've already, right after girls that have been out the first year, the second year, started texting and wanting to come back. Other schools say, hey, we got a whole bunch of girls that were part of our team that would, we could get out to next year. So for some of the other schools, and other schools saying, hey, would you take one or two of our girls? The biggest compliment we got is our girls wrestle freestyle now. The sport transitioned from folk style to freestyle, and our girls are wrestling freestyle now. We do freestyle moves. We run leg laces. We run gut wrenches. We run headlocks. We run, we don't just go to the bars and the halves like a lot of schools are still going with folk style, and people are starting to see that. A lot of credit goes to our girls. I mean, Anabelle went out to Fargo last year and All-American out there. Emma's been pushing hard all year. Her goal is to get to Fargo this year as well in podium. So we have a lot of goals and aspirations, but to be in that freestyle mode and then have a lot of other teams want to be a part of that because it helps that process moving forward. NCAA is freestyle as well. So the path the girls get into college is a lot easier going through a freestyle path. So that's a good thing.
And Scott, now obviously sectional championship this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me actually, is there a state tournament for girls wrestling yet? Is an official state championship now as well?
There is. It'll actually be next week, Thursday, before the boys tournament at the MVP Arena. We do have two participants. We had Jasmine Mercado won her bracket at 100 pounds, and Kennedy Lear got a true second wildcard berth. Anabelle lost in the finals in a tough match. Unfortunately, because of how they did the seeding or how they did the selection process, it's based on last year's results from the weight class above you, which didn't really make a lot of sense. But this is how, sometimes committees don't understand the full process. Hopefully, through work with the coaches, we'll be able to fix that moving forward. But committees make decisions, and when we figure that out going forward, we had 4 girls actually compete for true seconds to go to states, and we have 2 participants, so that's a real cool thing. We're happy, we're excited. We've been going to practice, and we actually haven't stopped practicing. Even the girls that aren't going to states are showing up and working. They're headed to a tournament this weekend. Off season starts right away, and we roll into it. But it's definitely awesome to have a final postseason for them at the MVP Arena with the boys. And hopefully it'll grow from 60-man to 32-man like the boys soon. So that's our next goal. We got to get participation up across the state, but we're seeing some great growth. It's awesome.
Anabelle, obviously Scott just mentioned not going to be participating in the state championships this year. But just talk to me about what it means to know that that's now out there, that's available to you, and what that does for you to have kind of something to strive towards trying to achieve here as you move forward over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'm really excited for knowing that we have like our own states now, and it's at the same place, and it's like the same thing as the guys have for the most part. At this point, I'm not going, but I'm so proud of like our girls that are going, and I'm excited to watch them and see how they do, and they'll do great. So,
Emma, coach said I saw you nodding your head when he said still practicing. Practice hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Talk to me about where that drive comes from, because I think a lot of athletes, the season ends, it's like, all right, we're packing it up. We'll see you next winter. For you girls to still be showing up, still practicing. Where does that internal drive come for you and for this team?
Like, honestly, like, I had such a rough first season that it's been like, I really wanted to win. So, like, it keeps me going, and, like, I go to practices I don't want to help get me there. And having our own states is a good goal to have by senior year, I think.
Got one with you, and you touched on it a little bit, but as you move forward, what is your hope of where this sport ultimately can get to, especially over the next couple of years as it really starts to build?
I really want to see this become similar to the boys, where we have a dual meet state championship, an official dual meet state championship with postseason sectional play there as well. And we also grow it to where we actually get full participation numbers at our individual championships as well. There's, our participation levels are amazing. We've seen year over year almost doubling growth. It's the fastest growing sport in the U.S., and I think it'll just keep growing. And if we can keep that movement going, it's going to help the boys' side as well, because the sport was in a flux at one point where we were losing weight classes in the Olympics even. And to see the growth because of the women's side has been amazing. The women have actually internationally and locally helped really grow our sport. The problems we've come into is getting officials, getting enough coaches, and that's a great problem to have. If we have enough athletes, that we need more coaches and more officials, that's amazing, and let's keep pushing that until we'll fill that hole. That we'll always find a way to make it happen, and I really can't wait to see, like I said, a sanctioned dual meet championship, as well as a full-fledged individual championships with full 32-man brackets and those kind of things. So that's what I think the future holds for us if we can keep it going in this direction. Us being the only freestyle state in the country is also going to parlay into hopefully more Fargo All-Americans and more college scholarships for our girls around New York State. So,
all right, first ever Section 5 girls wrestling champions, Alexander. Appreciate you joining us on this episode of Inside High School Sports.